guys, welcome back to a new video on my channel. So in today's video, I decided to bring you guys a how to actually be productive. I feel like a lot of people struggle with productivity. I feel like people are always constantly comparing their lives to others and thinking that they're not doing enough. Maybe you are comparing your life to someone that you see online, someone's presence, and you think that they're doing all these things and they're making it seem so productive and all of this, but in reality that's not the truth. And I wanted to kind of make a video helping and kind of like letting you guys know that like what you see online isn't really the reality, and obviously like there's certain ways on how to actually be productive. And so I wanted to give you guys some tips and make a video kind of showing you guys so you could be productive if you're struggling with it. I have some tips and some tricks and advice to help you guys, so that's why I decided to make this video. So before we start this video, I just wanted to give you one really important tip, and personally I think that it's the key and the first tip and trick in order to have a successful and productive day. If you don't already, I think that having a morning routine and creating a morning routine that works for you and your schedule and your life is key and so important in order to have a productive and successful day. Having a morning routine gives you structure in order to tackle the day ahead, and I feel like if you have a set morning routine, you follow it, the rest of the day kind of like flows with it. And so it really helps you, because you know how people say like breakfast is the most important meal of the day because it's the first meal of the day and it like gets you started for the day. It's kind of the same thing with a morning routine. If you have a morning routine and you complete it and it kind of like sets you up for success, then you kind of have the rest of the day to just follow along with it, and it helps so much. So if you don't have a morning routine, I suggest you make one, and your morning routine could look different than mine. Maybe I like working out in the morning and I'm kind of like a more morning person. Maybe you're not. Maybe you like working out at night. You know, so it kind of depends on the person. That's why you have to create your own morning routine that kind of sets your day up for success. But personally for me, that's the most important tip. So if you don't have a morning routine, definitely look into creating one that works for you, and don't compare your life with others, because we don't have the same things, each person's life, and you should never compare or kind of feel bad because maybe one person is doing more than you. You are doing enough and it is fine. It's completely fine. Everyone has a different life. But if you don't have a morning routine, you should definitely create one, because it really helps. And I personally cannot live without my morning routine. I love waking up knowing that I'm gonna work out, knowing that I'm going to make breakfast, knowing that at this time I'm gonna shower and start my day. So it really helps, and I definitely suggest you look into it. With all of this being said, now I'm going to start my morning routine and we're gonna get the day started. Making a healthy breakfast is so important, and I feel like it's very productive because there's a lot of people that in the morning they don't want to cook and they don't want to make breakfast. They either don't eat and they starve themselves, which is equally as bad, or they Postmate or Grubhub or Uber Eats like a Starbucks or whatever, which is so bad. I think that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so why do you have to neglect it and start off the day by ordering out or doing something like that? You know, it's just like not necessary. So right now I'm gonna make a little yummy breakfast. I love breakfast. It's like my favorite thing ever. I just love cooking breakfast. It's so relaxing and therapeutic for me. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm gonna make myself a little coffee. It's just gonna be so much fun. So a very important step into actually being productive and doing like productivity and all of that is making sure that you know exactly what you have to do. And I feel like I always speak about this, but it's kind of like the key into being productive. And if you have like all these things to do, making a to-do list of like your priorities and like everything that you have to get done is so beneficial and so helpful because it tells you exactly what you have to do. Instead of just figuring out what you have to do, you just know what you have to do. So like if you have assignments to do, or if you have laundry, whatever the thing that you have to do is in your productivity, just writing it down, making like a little list is so important. And it helps me so much because as I go like completing the tasks on my list, I just check off every time I complete something, and it just takes off a weight off your shoulders. It's just so satisfying and it helps so much. So if you're struggling with how to actually be productive and you don't know where to start, or you just don't get anything done, make sure that you're making to-do lists, because I feel like that is honestly key. Like you could do anything, but if you don't make a to-do list, it's just not gonna work out, and it's just not helpful at all. So make your to-do list, make it realistic, make it something that you could actually complete, because if not, you could let yourself down and make yourself feel like you didn't really accomplish anything when in reality you did. So make sure it's realistic, and yeah, that's honestly my number one tip for actually being productive. So with that being said, I'm gonna make a little to-do list of what I have to do today, and I'm gonna use my computer. I use Notion. I feel like I'm always talking about this in all my videos, but Notion is just so nice. It's so organized, and I like organizing it on there. Sometimes I do it on paper, but I feel like checking it off on Notion is more satisfying because it has like a little checklist. So once you complete something, you just click it and it kind of like checks it off, and it's just so satisfying to me. So I'm gonna be making my to-do list now. Going on hot girl walks is one of my favorite things to do. It just feels so peaceful, and the weather in Miami has been pretty nice. As you can see, it's kind of like gloomy, and I love going out like on walks when it's gloomy because the sun is just too much here in Miami, and I love taking advantage of the gloomy weather. I know people in the north, like from New York, are probably like, girl, we wish we had sun every day, but when you have it every day, trust me, it gets annoying. And I'm jealous of people that are from the north and actually have 4 seasons, because here it's summer all year round. So when you have one little cold day, you have to take advantage of it. I used to be the type of person to listen to music when I would like work out, go on walks. Well, not work out, but like go on walks. But now I've been on my podcast kick, and I just listen to my podcasts that I like. My favorite podcast right now is the Ava Jules, the On My Mind. I love her podcast just because it's like an audio, so when I'm walking, I listen to her. But when I'm doing 12-3-30 on the treadmill at the gym, I listen to Fernando Ramirez, A Better You podcast. But those are like my 2 like workout podcasts. Like I always listen to them, and it just inspires me. Like one day I want to have a podcast, like it's one of my goals, but that's like in the future when I actually have like a following. But I love it, and I love talking, so it's perfect for me. But yeah, I'm just walking right now, and when I get to like a certain point, I'm gonna start running because I want to run also. But first I wanted to warm up and kind of like walk. So I'm just walking, listening to my podcast, and then in a little bit I'm gonna start running. But this feels so good, the weather. A very important tip as well that I want to give you guys is time management skills. This has a lot to do with being productive, because if you make a to-do list and have like a bunch of things that you have to complete, it is key to know how to manage your time. Like I said before, you have to make a to-do list that is like realistic and reasonable, and that you will actually complete, rather than just like putting a whole bunch of things and then kind of like not doing those things just because you kind of like overwhelmed yourself and put like a lot of things on the to-do list. But time management skills are very important because you have to know which tasks you have to complete first. So for example, you're not going to do the least important task first. You're gonna do the one that has a deadline, the one that you know that you have to complete. For example, if you have like a homework assignment that is due tonight, you're not gonna do your laundry first. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do the thing that has a deadline that you have to get done first in order to kind of like do your to-do list. Because if you do the least important thing first and then like you run out of time or whatever, you basically prioritized something that wasn't as important as the actual number one priority, and now you don't have time to do your actual priority and you're just gonna feel like really bad, if that makes sense. So it is very important to kind of manage your time and know exactly what you have to do first and kind of like put it in an order from most important to least important, and do the most important thing that has a deadline first, and then kind of work your way down to the least important thing. Okay, I am on my way to the grocery store because I want to pick up some things. The sun is literally beaming, so I have to throw on these sunglasses that are just like in the car. We just leave it in the car. But yeah, I'm just gonna go pick up some things that I want to buy from the grocery store that I ran out of, and I'll give you guys a little haul when I'm done. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick little haul of what I bought. First, I got some cauliflower. I love eating cauliflower with potatoes. It's so healthy. Then I got some Nesquik. I love having this with milk as like hot chocolate. I got an immunity shot, turmeric and probiotics. It's a defense shot and it's gonna help so much. I got 2 penne pastas because I'm gonna make bolognese, like the meat and the tomato sauce. I also got this shape of pasta. It's called pipe rigate and it's so good. I recently tried it and it's so yummy. And then this is the meat that I got to make the bolognese pasta. So it's organic and it's 100% grass-fed beef and it's ground beef, so it's so good, like smashed up with the tomato sauce and the pasta. It's so yummy. And then I just got more of my Starbucks creamer. It's the caramel macchiato one because I bought it to try it to make my coffee and I loved it, so I repurchased it and it's so yummy. I love it. That's all I got for this little grocery run. I feel like I always do like little grocery runs. Like, I don't do like a big grocery shop because I don't know, I just feel like I'm always going to the grocery store, so I just get little things here and there instead of doing like a huge grocery haul. So that's why like in every video I go to the grocery store, because I just get little things randomly like here and there. Whenever I feel like I'm missing something or I finished something and I need to repurchase it or I ran out of something, whatever, I just go to the store, get the car, go to the store. And yeah, it's very simple because the grocery store is pretty close to me, so that's an advantage. Another very important key tip that I have is that when completing your to-do list, it is very important to take breaks and set aside time to take a break from what you're doing and kind of relax and kind of recoup your mind and just take a little breather, because you might be completing a lot of tasks and you don't want to get overwhelmed or do too much. So you want to set aside some time and kind of relax. So I've been chugging a little bit of this water. I'm gonna finish it right now, but it's very important. You can go on a walk and then come back and finish what you're doing. You could kind of meditate, maybe do some 10-minute yoga, some stretching, drink some water, eat a little snack, just things like that that kind of give you like a break from what you're doing, so then your brain could kind of like rest for a little bit and then you get back into action. So right now I just got done from grocery shopping. I got back from grocery shopping and I kind of was just like organizing, cleaning around here, and now I have to edit. So I kind of wanted to take like a little break and not get right into editing, because editing can be very draining and I don't want it to like eat up my brain. So I wanted to take a little break, kind of drink some water and now I'm gonna get into editing. Also, it is so important to know your limits and know when to call it quits. You cannot overwhelm yourself and do a bunch of things in one day, because that's how you get drained super fast, and you need time to recharge. You need time for your brain to kind of have like breaks and kind of let it go. That's why you have to make schedules and make to-do lists and organize your days and what you have to do each day, because you cannot have one day to do everything. Like, you know those people that let their room get super messy, and then one day their room looks like a tornado passed by and they have to clean and organize that whole thing? It's kind of like the same thing. You can't let your room get to that point. You have to every day kind of clean a little bit. If you feel like the pile of clothes in the corner of your room is getting a little bit too much, then you organize it little by little. You don't let your laundry pile up so much, because then if you leave everything for one day, that's how you get drained. And then you look at it and mentally you're looking at it and you're like, I can't do this. And that's when you get drained and you get overwhelmed. So you have to know your limits, and you have to know when to call it quits, when to stop. And if you completed what you had to complete that day and the rest of the things don't have deadlines, then you know that you could continue tomorrow. But don't overwork yourself, because that is when productivity could affect you, and it's not even about being productive anymore. You're just like overwhelming yourself. So there's a difference between that, and it's very important to know that difference and to know when to call it quits, when to call it stop. Knowing when to stop and knowing when to say, okay, this is where I stop and I will continue tomorrow. That is exactly why it is very important to make your to-do list and complete your to-do list by most important to least important. Because if you're completing your things and then you're getting too overwhelmed, you just complete what's most important, and then the rest of the things, you know that they're not as important, they don't have as much of a deadline, so you could just leave that for tomorrow. Rest is just as important as productivity, and it's crucial in order to maintain long-term productivity. So you need a rest, and you need to know when to say stop and when to call it quits in order to continue the long-term productivity. Because if not, you just overwork yourself, you get overwhelmed, and that is when it could affect you being productive, and it's just going to be a short-term productivity, because you're just going to want to get all of that done, and then you're going to go back to your old habits of leaving everything till last minute or leaving everything till one day. So I hope I'm making sense, and I hope that everything that I'm saying and all these tips are making sense, but it is very crucial and very important. Another very important tip is to focus on one thing at a time. Your full focus is on that thing, so it's easier to complete it. If you're doing a bunch of little things at once, you're never going to complete not one task, because your focus has a bunch of things going on. But if you focus on one task at a time, you could complete the tasks more. Okay guys, so I think I'm gonna end this video off right here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you learned something from this video. That was the whole point. I just wanted to kind of give you guys some tips and kind of like let you guys know how to actually be productive, because I know that a lot of people struggle with this type of topic, like toxic productivity, being productive, how to actually be productive. And trust me, I've been there before. I know that it's hard sometimes, constantly seeing all these people post productive days in my life, how to be productive, whatever. But then in reality, like, it's not true. Like, it's okay to not be productive sometimes. I also have my days where I'm not productive. I'm not productive every single second of every single day. That's not realistic. So sometimes I also do have my bum days where I'm just laying in my bed and acting like a little rotten chicken, but it's fine because it's normal and we need rest, we need breaks. It's very normal. But I just wanted to make this video for people that are struggling with how to be productive and people that are kind of more on like the lazier side. I don't know if that's the right word, but I know there's people that struggle with this, so that's why I made this video, and I hope that I helped someone out there. But if you liked these types of videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment anything you'd like down below. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers and I'm so excited. I'm so thankful, so grateful. This is literally my childhood dream and I can't believe it. So definitely subscribe. Tell all your friends, family to subscribe. Watch all my videos. It means so much to me. Thank you all for the support, and I will definitely be posting a lot of fun content soon for like fall and everything. So stay tuned and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.